president of the Texas Volleyball Coaches Association of Texas, and she was very instrumental, according to our previous executive director, Bill McCallum, in bringing the volleyball coaches and the basketball coaches under one umbrella. That's how individuals are looking at it. I was reading an article the other day, and in that article, it stated that a coach touches more lives in 1 year than the normal human being touches in a lifetime. How many lives has this woman touched? We honor her as a past president of Texas Girls Coaches Association. We gave her the highest honor that we give any coach in the state of Texas in 1999. We made her part of our Hall of Fame. It is such a privilege tonight to present a certificate to Norma Pullin for services rendered to Texas Girls Coaches Association, but mainly services rendered to our youth of the great state. Congratulations.
Okay, I'm going to have to read mine. I didn't think I was going to have to, but times like these give us opportunities to reflect on things in our past that have impacted our futures and help us to mold the kind of people we've become. I can tell you without a doubt, playing volleyball for Miss Pullin impacted my life. I'm thinking that everyone will agree with me when I give you my first sentiment on it. It's about time, right? It's about time, in Dedicate and rename a gym to honor Coach Norma Pullin, whose legacy in volleyball in this town is known far beyond this town, is truly an honor to be part of. I'm excited, as I know everyone is, to be here to honor her and see some old friends and reminisce about some things we used to do. I can think of no one who deserves the honor more than you do, Miss Pullin. You're an icon here. And see, I was thinking about that right there, Miss Pullin. You'll never be Norma to me because I still think I'm too old, I'm too young to call you by your first name. It's a sign of respect from me to you. My second sentiment. Respect. They say respect is earned, not given. I can tell you right now that Miss Pullin, with her winning ways and sharp, disciplined approach to the game, gained the respect of many a player, many families, and colleagues. To say she was well respected is an understatement. I am sure throughout the years there were many who sometimes did not necessarily agree with it, but you have to respect the record. It speaks for itself. Winning. She taught us to be respectful winners and gracious losers, when it rarely happened. Miss Pullin grabbed my respect in 6th grade. She was my health teacher, and she caught me chewing gum in class. That was against the rules when I was in 6th grade. She made me put it in a little ball and put it on my nose. The gum was purple. I'm sure I'm the only one that remembers that. But I respected rules for the most part after that incident, which leads me to my third sentiment, which is longing for excellence. I'm pretty certain there are many in here who would agree that when it comes to our relationships with Miss Pullin, it was kind of a love-hate sort of thing. Right? She commanded excellence. Man, we hated those workouts, but we loved winning. We hated getting in shape for the season, but we loved to play the game. We hated making mistakes because, and I will share one of my hates right now. She used to have someone in the audience tabulating our mistakes that we made during the game. Okay? And I remember in particular one playoff game It was a playoff game. We were in the playoffs, and we absolutely actually won this game, but I made 9 mistakes. We had to do 100 jumps per mistake after the game. And I'm not talking about those kind. I'm talking about this kind, up and down the whole way. Not short jumps, jumps on the wall. After the game was over, we stayed to do our jumps. It was a long night. Anyway, we hated making mistakes, but we loved improving. We didn't ever intentionally make mistakes, but it certainly made us strive to be better. So she instilled a longing for excellence. With the perseverance for excellence in our physical bodies came a sense of pride. When we didn't think we could do another thing physically, there would be another drill, or there would be more running, or more bleachers, or more basic skilled repetition over and over and over again. And when we got better, we were proud of ourselves. When we won, we were excited and proud. Proud to be representing. Proud to get the medal. Proud to be winners. Heck, we were a single-A school at the time I was in high school playing in 4A tournaments. By the way, those second 3, I was on those teams. Second 3, so I'm one of the oldest people here. We were proud to be winners and winning. And when you're little playing with big boys and girls, people take notice. Thank you for helping to instill that pride and never give up attitude. Not arrogant pride, just a good, accomplished sense of pride. Miss Pullin loves the game. She loved the game. She had fun playing the game. She used to play with us, coaching the game, being a winner, and having that sense of accomplishment. It's easy to look back and see that now. Maybe in the midst of the tough times, it wasn't that easy, but it was fun. That was the best part, I think, about having you as a coach. Again, this is such a great thing that's happening. I'm so excited to be part of this. We love you. We thank you so very much. Thank you for instilling some of the great values into our hearts, minds, and souls when we were yet only children.
Okay, my name is Susan Lovinka. I was part of the 1982 volleyball state champion up there. We started in these, I hate to admit it was that long ago, but it was. We started out in the 7th grade with 25 players, I believe, and we didn't do A, B, and C teams in the day. We just rotated in and out. So our record that year was 0 and 25, I think it says on the back of my 7th grade picture. By the time we got to our senior year and endured the many, many two-a-days, and they were two-a-days. They were 7 to noon and about 1:30 till we did something right more than once or twice, for sure. But by the time I was a senior, there were only 3 of us left on the varsity team. So you had to really, really want to do it. And you had to really, really love it. And we did. Some of the things I truly remember, or that I think about now first, she took a bunch of girls that were pretty average athletes like me. We had a few outstanding athletes over the years that went to play collegiate ball and did some select volleyball, but we didn't even know what select volleyball was back then. That was silly. To me, she created the position of libero long before it was even thought of. Somehow, she would rotate somebody in to play that position, and we had not, that was the defensive player, but there wasn't really a term for that yet. She created it somehow. But we learned that we could become an amazing player on her team if we all did it her way and stuck together, and we didn't have to be each one an amazing athlete. We just had to have the belief in ourselves that she had in us. And I still think about that today. What kind of person can truly make you feel that way day after day? Just a couple of things I want to share about our practices real quick. We were not allowed to wear knee pads. It's not a 4-letter word, but it was. No knee pads at all. We would wear ugly gray sweats that had holes in the knees because we abused them so much. We wore ugly gray shirts, and we just looked like ragamuffins. We would show up at scrimmages, and people probably saw us walk in and think, well, this is going to be easy. And we would just kick their butt. So we didn't have to look good to play good. So I appreciated that now. Then I thought we should look good, but we didn't. We would go to practice one day, and she'd have all these weights lined up that we would have to strap on our ankles so we could be stronger. And it made it really easy to hit a ball after nodding. They're all nodding. Yeah, so you run and spike with those on your ankles, and then later, when you get to take them off, the theory was you could hit higher, harder, and jump higher, which actually worked. The other thing we did was, where's Lisa Vodzik? I don't know what kind of contraption you had to wear when you were trying to set, like she wanted you to set. She put something between your hands that made them stay right where she wanted them. And Lisa had to run all over the court like that. And she did. And she was our state setter. She also made Lisa do a lot of things for setting that just kind of out there, but they weren't. The other thing she would do is, I don't know who made this, maybe the ag shop, but it was this big steel pole with a huge metal bars on it that stood right here as a blocker, way bigger than any blockers we had on the other team. But we would run and spike into that so that we could learn to cover, and we did learn to cover. So nowadays when I see people not covering their spike or ball, and you just need to, you practice with that and you learn to cover. So she had her own ways of doing things. I could go on and I won't, but they were really things that as a players we know and we'll never ever forget. I'm just going to share a couple of things real quick. I can't share a lot of them because we can't talk about them. Tournament. I think I was a senior, and we won, but the deal was we were not allowed to let the other team score more than 5 points, and I think they scored 7 or 8, and this was in August, and we were out in the Katy parking lot running for, I don't know how long, a long time, Laura, right? Our grays were they were black, they were sweaty, and these other teams would come by and say, why are y'all running? Because you scored 8 points. And we were like, we won. Yeah, but we didn't win good enough. So next time we will. The other thing I remember distinctly is at the state game. And this is in November. We made it to state. I was a senior. There were 12 of us on the team, I believe. And this is just the truest example I can think of how she believed in us. Whatever she said we could do, we could, because she said so. So we